Warning: this podcast may contain sensitive material. It is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer and listening discretion is advised. Hello, everyone. My name is Zelda Kelly. I'm with PsychicSecrets.com, and welcome to this episode of Dark Tales with Zelda. That's right. This is a series in which I'm going to give you a reenactment of the cards that I've laid out with real psychic calls that I have taken. So today we're going to be talking about a demon on the call. This was impacting me so much that I actually wrote down the card layout and what I did during this because I wanted to keep a record of it. So I'm going to be laying out the cards as I'm telling you the story. And we're going to go from there, okay? So I have my cartomancy deck and I have the tarot deck with me. So let's begin. So I took a call from a young lady who was frantic. You could hear a man in the background. And as I was laying out the cards for her, she said this man was her boyfriend, her lover. They had thought about getting married, but that there was something that was coming between them. It all started because they were arguing and upset, and she felt terribly alone. She felt guilty, and there was no reason to feel guilty. She felt horrible, and she said that every day as the day went on, she felt a heaviness in their home. Then she started telling me about how things would move, and her boyfriend didn't believe her, and it caused arguments all the time. He was accusing her of doing things that she shouldn't be doing, and that was very evident that she was not, and that he said that it was because of her that all of this was happening. Let me move this to the side. So now she's trying to get to the bottom of things. And as we spoke more, and one of the reasons that she had called me was because she knows that I have been a paranormal investigator for years. So I'm not going to sweep a lot of this under the rug. I want to know if someone's having a problem because it can be caused by many things. As most of you know who are also in the paranormal field. So we're discussing things, and come to find it out, her boyfriend brought a relic into the home. Now, what kind of relic? She said that he picked it up at the antique store. There was an antique mall, like a flea market on a weekend, that he liked this. It was just a small cup-looking thing, and I believe that's why this came out here. And ever since he brought it in the home, there was conflict, but he didn't believe it. And he was there while we were on the call, and she had him on speakerphone. So while we were on the call, I started hearing these noises. Now, there was not noises on their end. The noises were on my end. How did I know this? Because they had me on speakerphone and I could not hear the noises in the speakerphone, but I could hear the noises coming through the Bluetooth earpiece that I use while I'm reading cards for people. It was definitely something coming through because I could hear it whispering to me in my right ear. I could hear noises. I could hear all kinds of things going on. She was starting to get so frantic that she started to scream. I was starting to try to get her to calm down, but as the time went on, he decided he was going to leave during the call. And while I was on the phone, he was packing up and left. And she was crying, and I kept telling her, stay on the call with me. Don't say anything. Don't go near him. Don't do anything. He walked out. The noises became so crazy. Now, yes, that could have happened on their end, but I was hearing different noises once again in my Bluetooth and not through the speaker or the earpiece of the phone. I knew something was going on, and this was a very painful situation for her. This situation caused her many, many, many sleepless nights and then resulted in a very painful ending. So after seeing this, I wanted to confirm with my cartomancy deck. And as I did that and I turned over the cards, there definitely was a parting. There was a breakup, inevitable, and I heard it on the phone while I was talking to her. There definitely was a loss that is equal, this particular ace is equal to the death card. It's an ace of spades. In cartomancy, that is the death card, meaning a loss of relationship, just a not so happy time, a big loss. And then her card came up. Now, I do not read reverse meanings. That is one of my things that I've not done. It's just a preference. Many of you do, and that's great, but it's my preference. I would put this card right side up. I would put it correctly up like this. Put it back into the deck, and I would shuffle, and ultimately it would turn and come out. I've seen those things happen. I was right there. I was right here reading. And after twice, I let it go because that tells me that she was definitely in a bad way and maybe even in a little bit of danger. In the meantime, whatever was talking over my Bluetooth was telling me stop, was telling me don't. So it was just one word, stop, don't. And the more she was upset and the more she cried for him to come back, the last word that I heard from this was evil. She wanted me to come to her home. Of course, I could not do that because of the rules of the psychic line. And quite frankly, there would have had to be a lot more investigation before I would have even gone if I would have entertained that type of thing. There's a lot of disclosure that happens. But I cannot explain how these words were coming over the Bluetooth and not through the phone that I was using. That bothered me for quite a few days, and I had always hoped that I would hear from her again, but I never did. I always wondered what happened to that relic that young man brought home and kept there that caused so much heartache. But to have a demon speak on a call means that there was something serious. How do I know it was a demon? By the tone of the voice, by the growling, by the breathing, and by the words. But you know the one thing that he did that this Hello again, friends. This is Zelda, and I'm sorry for that abrupt ending of the last segment of this video. My camera stopped, of all things. It's charged. It stopped right in the middle of me telling you about reverse meanings. Now, this reverse meaning, getting back into it, represented this young lady that called me. This young lady was so distraught, and really the whole situation was odd and not right. The thing that I keep coming back at, okay, so fine, let's just say they manipulated the call. There's absolutely no way that they could have manipulated a sound to come through my Bluetooth. And for those who are in the paranormal field, know that there's no way. And if you heard me stop, I just heard knocking behind me. So I think we're onto something here. But there's no way that you can manipulate a sound in this. I had this happen to me once before in a video. That video I was recording live on a social media platform, Facebook, and I was showcasing a necklace that I had that had a lot of paranormal activity around it. I had my Bluetooth on at that point, and also sounds, growls, grunts came through my Bluetooth but did not come through my phone or my camera. And at that time I was recording on my phone. So this is definitely something that I've always wondered about. I've always wondered about her. I've always wondered about what happens and what has happened to them. I never heard from her again. So the demon on the call, well, I have to call it that for no other reason but this layout. I wrote down the cards right away. So I want to thank you for staying with me during this time. Yeah, this was one that got to me, and you just don't know what you're going to get on these calls. That's why next week we're going to have another one of these episodes where I'm going to tell you another story. Life happens on this realm and on another. So thank you so much for watching Dark Tales with Zelda, and I'll see you again next time.